Last month, we began a discussion around how buyers look to value your business. It's safe to say that no matter what story you have to tell, buyers are always going to bring it back to one thing, which is, show me the money. Buyers want to know how much money they can make because they want a return of their capital, and once it's achieved, they want a return on their capital. We're going to continue to lay some groundwork with a few definitions of terms that I suspect you've heard, but it's also important to know the difference in the situations where one may be used over another. We're going to start with the acronym EBITDA, or EBITDA. This is your earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Notice that we're adding back interest because we're not going to make any assumptions about how the buyer capitalizes the business. Taxes is added back because this can move around a bit, partially based on capitalization, entity structure, and things like strategic use of, for example, retirement plans. Depreciation and amortization are, of course, non-cash expenses, so they reduce your operating income, but don't truly reduce your cash flow. It's important also to note that EBITDA is after the owner or general manager takes a market rate salary. So in an instance where an owner-operator doesn't pay themselves, or perhaps you overpay yourself, this number needs to get adjusted. Note that EBITDA isn't the best metric to use when a company's small. Take, for instance, a scenario where a business owner makes $200,000 a year. There's real value in owning the business, but after the owner takes their salary, EBITDA will be smaller or even zero. EBITDA also isn't a great metric to use when a company has a high level of capital expenditure. That's because the CapEx doesn't show up as an expense on the P&L. If you add back the depreciation expense from this CapEx, you'd overstate by quite a bit what the available cash looks like to the business. Another metric you may hear is seller's discretionary earnings. That's just EBITDA plus the owner's salary. Note that the main difference between EBITDA and SDE is that EBITDA assumes a professionally managed business. A buyer would only need to see a return on their money. But when using the metric seller's discretionary earnings, in order to receive a return on your cash, a buyer needs to also work 40 plus hours a week. So they're looking for a return on their money as well as on their time. We're going to use these terms some more in future discussions, so stay right here and we'll see you next time.